Guess what? Huntington's disease? Pot doesn't help. All right, what is Huntington's chorea? Anybody know?
So the neuromuscular disorder where minor motor is impaired, not as
Right. So you've got a lot of crazy neuromuscular symptoms. Weakness, some palsy sometimes, problems walking later in it. Right? Looks like it's heritable, but you don't find out you have it till like post 40, so you've already had a bunch of kids. Right? It's kind of a tough one. Parkinson's. What's Parkinson's? Right? We talked about it when we did the dopaminergic things. It works in some areas of the nervous system, and then what are the symptoms? Right? You have that tremor. Who's famous who has it? Michael J. Fox. Do you even know who he is? Yes. All right. Poor Michael J. Fox has this, right? Michael J. Fox talks about brushing his teeth. It's like this fucking 2-hour ordeal, right? He's got keep it. It's a drag, right? Pot does help some disorders that have motor tremors associated with them, but not these. Okay. Potential evidence. Okay. There's some data to support that cannabis helps these disorders. Now, what would be the gold standard, wonderful, best way to study that cannabis helps this kind of thing? What do we call those trials? Well, placebo would be totally kick-ass, right? But randomized clinical trials, right, where people are randomly assigned to either get pot or placebo. Right? What's the problem with that? As soon as I said it, what'd you think? Who's going to smoke placebo pot a second time? Right? Who am I going to send an ounce to and say, here, smoke this a little every day, and they're going to light it a third time? Right? So we got a problem with expectancy on all of these things. Something to keep in mind. Right? Potential evidence for anxiety. Yeah, certain strains of pot in certain people can lower anxiety, but that's fucking retarded. All right? We have 12-session CBT treatments, 3 months of work, and generalized anxiety, specific phobia, right, panic, all that shit, we can totally handle it. And then you could enjoy your pot. So anytime we have combos of drugs, things definitely go awry. Nobody's done that in the lab. Anxiolytic, and there are definitely sativa strains that I feel like if you were on anxiolytic and then you smoked them, you'd be bummed. But I don't have any real data. Okay. Arthritis, that's not spelled right, is it? When you got arthritis, and arthritis, okay? Cannabis. Guess who first recommended cannabis for arthritis? Shenang. Okay? Arthritis and rheumatism both were like, and by the way, eat a bunch of pot. It works. Is it the only thing that works? No. Guess what else works? Aspirin. Right? But aspirin is toxic to the liver. Aspirin gets hard on you. You take 8 aspirin every day for a couple of years, it takes its toll. Right? Do you have to be totally baked out of your mind all the time to get over arthritis? No. We can develop tolerance to the subjective effects and can still have benefits. Okay? How about 4 aspirin a day and two totals? Right? That's the point. Dystonia, what's dystonia? Messed up muscle. Is that what she's saying? Real loud now. Yes? Yes. All right. I thought it just meant bad music, right? But it means muscle tone, right? Dystonia means
your muscles are awry. Right? How does cannabis help this? We're not really sure. Right? But the cannabinoid system seems to play a role in how neural messages get to muscles, and it does seem to help, particularly in spinal cord injury, right? Which, oh, who's got that? Blah, blah. I'll give you a hint. Everybody who's coming back from the war now, various motorcycle and auto accident folks, they do seem to benefit. Insomnia. Is it any wonder I have some fucking problems sleeping? Duh. Right, you've only seen me drink 320 ounces of Red Bull in the last semester. Right. Cannabis, at least the indica strains, seem to be sedating. Right? Cannabidiol in particular may have this effect. Right. But is this a real treatment of choice, or is it I just like to get high before I go to bed? Right. We have wonderful behavioral treatments for insomnia. What are they? And wouldn't hurt for a guy, but also stimulus control. Your bed is for sex and sleep only. None of this watching TV till all hours into bed. Right? It's a classically conditioned thing. No exercising in bed. No eating in bed. Don't bring monkeys into your bed. Stuff like that. Get up at the same time and go to bed at the same time every day. Like Friday, Saturday. Wake up Sunday morning, just like you would on Monday morning. That's gonna fucking happen. Right? But it's a great treatment. But if you can't fall asleep and you got a little indica, it does work. Seizure. Okay. Very confused literature because there's about a zillion different kinds of seizure. I mentioned my friend Valerie Corral who had the head injury and has seizures, but not if she has cannabis. Right? Epileptic folks, it may be cannabidiol actually, seem to respond well to this. We don't have the randomized clinical trials that we could have, but we got a lot of anecdotal evidence consistent with this. Effective, and I'm saying not, hey, this is the treatment of choice, but just we have compelling evidence now these are really effective. Appetite loss, in all honesty, is anything better than pot for appetite loss? IV pot? That's a spooky thought. So in fact, a smoke drug, depending on how long your arm is, might get there faster. Right? It's not the only thing, okay, but definitely helps. It's not exactly an inducer of desire for the healthiest food. You know, I see tons of stoners going, wow, I'd really like a spinach salad and a light vinaigrette. Do you have any lean protein sources here? No, it's like fucking Twinkies! But, improved. Glaucoma, now I want to emphasize, yes, the pressure inside your eyeball decreases after smoking pot, okay, but it doesn't last long. It only lasts for a few hours. And we have a better treatment now, Canosol, these eye drops. Right? Where was it developed? In Jamaica. Okay. Which I know sounds ironic. Right? But in all honesty, black folks metabolize salt differently. High blood pressure is an issue that's different for them. Right? And that pressure inside the eye stuff is also. The guy who studies this, Norm Anderson, thank God he's black. Because he can say shit that white people can't get away with. Right? So he'll say, blah, blah, then I brought the black folks into the lab and we shocked the shit out of them and take their blood pressure. And I'm like, dude, if a white guy did this, we'd be dead. Right? But he can do it because he's black. Nausea. Right. Again, an inhaled vapor, rapid onset. If you haven't been like totally, really grossly nauseated lately, you don't understand. This can be really apparent. Right? Even being mildly nauseated, like do you even want to go to class? Can you imagine going to work? So it's rough, and this makes a big difference. Where is this a big issue? Cancer-related chemotherapy. Right? What is chemotherapy? We're going to give you a whole bunch of poison and hope your cancer dies before you do. That's pretty much it. Right? So, what a surprise, it is really nausea. Vomiting, same deal. Pain, okay. Now this is a curious one because it's strain dependent and it's dose dependent. If you have too much pot, and I know for some of you that phrase doesn't compute, pain sensitivity actually increases. Right? It's an inverted U. Too much and you actually have worse pain. Not enough, it's not effective. You got to have that baby bear amount. The Goldilocks zone. Right? Just right. Problem with Marinol or something like that is, you take the pill, you wait 3 hours, maybe it's enough, maybe it's too much, you don't know. Inhaled vapor, you can do little baby puffs, get there, and be done. Right? An advantage of medical cannabis. Headache. So my friend Ethan Russo just did a whole big review of all the headache literature. Migraine, if you can catch it early on. Anybody here have migraines? No, so you guys know. Right? There's that moment where like the lights are kind of flashing and you're like, oh fuck, here it comes. Run for the vaporizer right then. Right? And then it'll be okay. Right? If you wait until it's already broken through, then it's a lot harder, as you know. Right? Or 2 Imitrex and fucking lie down, I guess. But that's the point. Tension headache. Right? In truth, what's the best treatment for tension headache? Meditation. Fucking stop doing whatever you're doing that's giving you all the tension, that's giving you a headache. Send your kids to grandma's. Right? Those are the real treatments, but we don't have time for that shit. Right? Dose dependent though, it doesn't take much. A little dab will do it. Spasticity. Okay. Also in that spinal cord injury crew, muscle spasm is really weird and everybody's like, oh, that's just a... Try falling asleep when then your fucking leg starts kicking, right? Every half hour, and you're like, ugh. Makes a big difference. And finally, weight loss. Okay, when I was in LA, weight loss was not an issue because you couldn't be too thin for television. Nevertheless, okay, HIV/AIDS, if your weight drops to 1/3 of what it used to be, you're going to die. Like, that's like our best predictor. Like, oh, you used to weigh 180 and now you weigh 60? Yeah, we're done here. Okay. So maintaining that through appetite, increased weight loss, and I mean, by the time you're that skinny and like you're that late stage age, you need a steroid as well, something to keep muscle mass building, but it definitely helps.